Good evening, everyone in the US, and magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat in the Philippines. Welcome to Planet 63's virtual market show, the next evolution of discovering Philippine-made and US-made products and services. Hello, everyone. We are back and are ready to bring value to our guests and have fun doing it. Our show is about making local US and Philippine products become global. My name is Ferdinand Soriano of Planet 63, and I'm so glad that you can join us again. And for those viewing us for the very first time, I guarantee you will definitely discover something new. And as always, we will be introducing two guests and their products that are relevant to the US market as well as the Philippine market. But before we do all that, now I'd like to introduce to all of you, all the way from the Philippines, is Planet 63's managing partner. He's the founder and CEO of Petalver Consulting and the Academy. And you can say he completes the bridge that helps our US-based companies navigate the Philippine market. Please welcome Professor John P.
Hi
Jonathan.
there, Ferdinand. How are you, everyone? Yeah, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat dyan sa Amerika. Good evening, everyone. And of course, a very pleasant morning to all of us here in our country, the Philippines. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
So what's going on in the Philippines? Speaking of the Philippines, Professor John, so anong what's happening there? Anong nangyayari?
Correct. Yeah, partner Ferdinand, just like what our intro, it's a National Heroes Day, right? November 30 is the National Heroes Day, and we would like to greet all our overseas Filipinos around the globe, no? In Tagalog, we always say, saan mang sulok sa mundo, no? They are our modern day bayanis. And of course, going back to the effect of this pandemic, we are now back to the general community quarantine or the GCQ. So pretty much we are, should I say, moving around, no? The mobility is improving. No, however, of course, we have to take extra care. How about there, Bong, in the US? How are you there? COVID-19?
Well, in the US, it's almost basically the same thing. I mean, there has been a surge or a rise in the COVID cases, but we're all very helpful that there's some good news or at least hopeful news regarding the vaccine. And then a lot of things also I try to focus in these times. I mean, I know we could talk about COVID-19, the pandemic and everything, but sometimes I like to try to focus on the good things. Yeah. Obviously, there's some improvement in the election. Everybody's probably paying attention to that. So that's also very hopeful too. So those are the things that I'm very excited about what's happening in the US. And then other than that, I'm glad that there's some movement. That's what I'm enjoying. Now, all right. Now I have two questions for everyone in the audience. Okay. Do you need products for your online business? And are you in charge of purchasing or sourcing products for your company? Now, if you are, I want you to stick around. You know, you don't want to miss seeing our next guest. And we think we might have something for you today. Now, our first guest was raised among the Napa Valley's finest vineyards and considered by many as the Mark Zuckerberg of the wine industry. He's also an award-winning filmmaker, producer. This is great, right? So he's Zuckerberg. He's also he's a filmmaker, producer for wine and lifestyle industries. Now, please stay tuned for our next guest. You don't want to miss this.
All right, so we will be right back. Planet 63, products from the Philippines, products for the Filipinos. We'll be right back.
Hi, good day, kabayan. I'm your coach, Jonathan Petalver of The Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship. Inaanyayahan kita this coming November 11 up to December 12. So 11-11, 12-12, 2020 to enroll into our 2 masterclasses in entrepreneurship. So you're just going to avail it for 499 pesos for the 2 masterclasses and with certification. So 6 courses, entrepreneurial branding, marketing, sales, customer service, and entrepreneurial management and leadership. So enroll now and log on to www.coachjonathan.net. And don't forget to use your sponsor's student code to avail of the 499 pesos only for the 2 masterclasses in entrepreneurship. Again, I'm your coach, Coach Jonathan Petalver of The Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship. See you in class.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We truly, truly appreciate it. Now, every week, we try to find products from the Philippines and the US that we feel might be a good fit for that market and feature them on the show. And if you're an online store owner or a sourcing agent for your company, please send us a message and we can help you find it in the Philippines or US. Okay, so with that being said, let's get to our first guest. Let me go ahead and introduce everyone to our amazing first guest. He was raised, like I said in the earlier, that he was raised among Napa Valley's finest vineyards and considered by many today as the Mark Zuckerberg of the wine industry. He is also an award-winning filmmaker, producer for wine and lifestyle industry. He is now a proprietor, vintner owning #TrendingWine, the trendiest and most innovative wine brands on the market. Now, Trending Wine is the first beverage company to produce digitally interactive labels with a call to action that's viral. Some of the labels obtain over 411 million integrated users on social media. Please welcome the amazing Jason Elkin. Jason, did I do right, well with the intro, man? Did you need to elaborate?
I liked it. I felt great. Thanks for the boost. Appreciate it. Hey, greetings from Napa Valley. Good evening or a good morning to wherever it is that you may be viewing into Planet 63. It's part of the show. I want to thank you, Ferdinand. I want to thank you, Jonathan, for including me in this episode, and I'm excited to be part.
Now, before you start, I want to make sure that everybody is I'm totally fixated on the wine bottles and all that. So tell us what you have there in the background, and then I'll have Jonathan come back into the fold. And then, I'll let you go ahead and talk about a little bit about the company, but tell us a little bit what you got there.
Sure. So this is just a plethora of a few of the many of labels, design concepts, flavor profiles that I've kind of been, that I've developed, designed in-house. They have different functionalities. They pertain to different demographics and price points depending on who might be part of the direct-to-consumer outlets, whether they be online or brick and mortars. So some of them have some interesting functionalities, and there's just a few of I've probably done upwards of almost 100 different brands and labels over my 21 years in the beverage space and in the wine industry here in Napa Valley.
Okay, well, I just wanted the audience to know what those were about, but so now we really want to know who you are, what you're all about, and what's your mission statement or what you want to accomplish in the Philippine market. So we'll showcase you right now. Go ahead and talk a little bit about you and the company and the products that you guys offer.
Well, sure, appreciate it. So here nationwide, I developed a focus that supported the interest of the next generation consumers. Over the past 15 years, the buying power of the industry and preference and interest in wine has shifted to more of a next generation consumer. I was headhunted over the years to provide a recipe or, that of what it is to get to that next generation, strike the interest, and also have a presence held on the modern platform. Such as you said, I found, different ways to penetrate the industry in a saturated market via online outlets and components using social media as well. Internationally, my interest has developed over the last 9 years with a focus on Asian markets. I've done quite a bit of business in China. And I've, created label concepts for big organizations, corporate venues, platforms, events, here nationwide as well, some of them being concerts, different platforms like that. But previous to, COVID activating, I actually spent some time in the Philippines, literally, right? I think it was at the end of February. I got to come over and I was in Makati, Manila, and I met with, some of different businesses and outlets in the Philippines. I got to take time and immerse in the lifestyle, the culture, the energy while I was there, and really develop an understanding as to what would be most enjoyable to the Filipino community, the flavor profiles of the Epicurean experiences that would be introduced or enjoyed in the Philippines. And so I developed a really strong understanding as to what would be most preferable as a product in the Philippines. When I was there, it was really interesting, which also supported my interest to launch some opportunities in the Philippines, was that I didn't find any brands or labels from California or Napa Valley. On average, it was approximately 2 different products coming from California or Napa Valley in the shelf, in the market space. I realized that if they were purchasing California or Napa Valley tier wines, they were actually purchasing retail and then having to mark up, which made it pretty unapproachable to the consumer. So I was able to establish a couple relationships in the Philippines to support the penetration coming in. I developed a company that's called Napa Valley Distribution. If you Google that, you'll see some of the components that support our involvement in the Philippines. For me, my interest in what allowed for me to establish a good network and support in the industry, also internationally, was the fact that I've created business models that support the merchants and the platforms and partners that we collaborate with when we bring a brand to market. It's not just the traditional ideas to to just, you know, make an immediate profit for my gains. I've learned that if I support the merchants and the outlets that are going to be featuring, carrying, promoting the brands and supporting their sales, and also supporting the interest to the consumers, that increases confidence on all sides, which increases buying power, which you know, it supports everybody who's involved. So I was able to create you know, a really strong understanding of flavor profiles, price points, label design concepts, and some viral components that also would be supported to distribute brand awareness in the Philippines as well. In it.
All right. Yeah. Jason, quick question here. I have a nice comment. No, since that you were able to somehow you were able to see the Philippines, right? So how do you find the wine industry, or in terms of the acceptance, right? How would you rate it? The Filipinos loving wines and all those stuff.
Right. I think that they would love, I think that they would really love the opportunity of enjoying wines. I think if there was a better business model, you know, and that was an opportunity to introduce, you know, experiences to the in general community. And those are some of the achievements that we've been able to activate. You know, in order for a consumer to become confident, they need to be able to have the opportunity to try wine and not, you know, not be intimidated by either not knowing the lifestyle, the culture of it, or potential price points. And we've established ways to alleviate, I'd say, about 60% waste, which increases your profits because you don't lose inventory, which allows for the merchants to be able to better introduce a sample or wines by the glass programs to the consumers to increase confidence. So that's one of the biggest achievements I think we're going to be able to support with coming into the market as well. I also recognize in 2019 there's been a 6% increase in a majority of you know, salary for the interest of a growing interest in lifestyle, which included certain subjects like wine appreciation.
Correct. But are you limited with that kind of distribution? You mentioned about meeting, you know, like wine distributors here in the Philippines. Are you saying that you will just deal with them exclusively, or you're still opening up other avenues for some Filipinos who would like to promote or market your wine? Especially, of course, you're aware about the drop shipping and the online opportunities that we can give also the Filipinos. Are you looking at that kind of business model, Jason?
Yeah, I'm looking for, you know, interested entities that have established platforms, that have a confidence in knowing that, you know, something like this would be appropriate for their business, their corporate giftings, for a club membership, a wine club, a retail outlet, a supermarket, a hotel, a resort, a casino, a day spa, an event venue, you know, as opposed to, you know, purchasing somebody else's brand. Why not have and lead with your brand presence and, you know, a message from your product? I think, you know, it's not any more, it's not any less. As a matter of fact, we've actually established a way in distribution that would support you spending less and having an outcome with less waste as well, which would really increase, you know, the outcome of success for everybody involved.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Jason. In fact, one of the inputs that I'm getting right now is there a way that an organization could white label, I mean, the brands that you have, and what's the minimum or order quantity for it to be as such?
Sure. So there's a couple different ways to kind of look at that. I think our smallest production capability, just for everybody's best interest, is a minimum of a barrel. And if and when you go and visit one of our web pages, you know, Napa Valley Distribution, it actually kind of breaks down how a little bit about the industry itself. For example, a barrel of wine is the smallest production that we do, and it's 25 cases. There's 12 bottles in a case, so something like that would be the smallest case production. In addition to that, you know, when we're shipping, it's actually, believe it or not, less expensive to ship a container than it is to ship a case of wine to the Philippines. Not necessarily less, but comparable almost, you know. And there's also ways that we've established a co-ed experience in regards to shipping, like a container. We can establish a duration of time and kind of piggyback another product line that may be making way to the Philippines as well to maybe cut costs. So we've really, really vetted out a lot of different ways to support the overhead of everybody's involvement to make this a successful opportunity for anybody who would like to be involved. And white labeling, that's our specialty. Customizing a brand, label design concept, flavor profile, price point, specific to your platform, product, experience, brick and mortar, venue, whatever it may be. We hit it right on the head.
Wow, perfect. Yeah. So joining us once again is Ferdinand. Yeah, Ferdinand, this is such, like a great opportunity for, that is open for distribution, because I was computing right now, let's say, Jason, if it's like 25 or 20 footer, basically like 500, 300 to 500, bottles, Ferdinand, someone from the Philippines can already start distribution.
Yeah, no, definitely. The thing that I would be excited for Jason is he's able to maybe because I know that he's actually working. Maybe I don't know if we can mention it, but I know he's working with some groups in Bacolod now, right? I mean, I can mention that, right, Jason?
Yes.
I know that one of the biggest. That's how I met Jason also, because he was working with Bacolod and having something to do with the Mascara Festival. And if you want to be more specific on that so that people can relate, that you do actually know the market to a certain degree and that you have worked. Because what I want anybody who's watching, whether they're in the Philippines at the moment or somewhere else, I want them to know that you are becoming more invested in trying to bring your products into the Philippines, especially when 2017 there was a 7% value growth, and I think the industry in the Philippines for wines were like in the billions in terms of pesos. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity. But yeah, can you expand maybe a little bit about that particular transaction, or rather collaboration that you're doing with Bacolod?
Please, yes, thank you. Like I said, I came over, I think it was into February. I spent some time. The intention of coming over was to establish a more intriguing relationship in person. I wanted to, just as you said, invest my sincerity to show that I was passionate about the opportunity. I valued it. I respected it. So I did just that. I came over. We met with a couple big outlets. We have a couple, relationships which allowed me to feel confident and responsible for making the decision to come over. Like you said, Mascara event, we have a pending, which will be coming to market as soon as everything is acceptable and responsible to do so. That is one pending project that we're bringing to market. I think it has about 500,000 attendees. It's about a month-long event. There was an interest from a Sinalog event, for a custom label design for that event, which I believe is another month-long event, approximately 2 million attendees for that. We have a project that's with a yacht club that we're, things are just basically kind of shelved currently, but they'll be activated here when, things are allowed to move forward. And just recently, actually, really fun, interesting opportunity also pending is Monte Maria. That large statue and that big real estate development that's taking place as well. We've been having conversations in regards to the development of that project with a customized label that will activate VR, AR technology that distributes some interesting content that makes it really exciting and interesting as well. Those are just a couple, in addition to some of the outlet stores we did meet with. We did meet with some of the purchasing representatives from some of those direct-to-consumer brick and mortars, and that's when I actually brought my kit with me, and we got to sit down and we made a plethora of different flavor profiles and concoctions that everybody voted on and agreed upon, and it was a success. Yeah.
Jason, as far as what you have currently on the table there, I want people to, which product, which type of wine do you think is going to be, popular in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Which one are you thinking about out of the bottles that you currently have right there? Show the audience what you're projecting or what's your vision in terms of sending to the Philippine market. So if you don't mind, besides, I'm getting thirsty.
Yeah, right. So, to be honest with you, I literally make wines that are for the consumers, kind of by the consumers. I don't necessarily follow the traditional lead of the wine industry. They find value in different ways. A lot of people, it can be misleading, I think, to people. A lot of times people even have purchased wines with a point system. You might see a shelf talker that states this wine is 90 plus points. This wine is 95 points, and some people made decisions to purchase that wine over others just assuming that this wine is better than others. It really has nothing to do with the yummy or the quality factor of the wine. It's really recognizing the cellar ability of the wine. So I'm not necessarily trying to impress the inner industry. I'm really trying to appeal to the buying power of the modern consumer. So a lot of my wines have more of a drinker-friendly approach. So as opposed to shelving them or cellaring them for plus 10-something years, or having to decant or having to oxidize or aerate the wines to open up to try and be approachable or consumable, I really want them to be favorable as soon as you pull the cork. So I think certain techniques that I've learned over the 20-something years in the industry, softening the tannin profile, which in the wine industry is recognized as a quality that supports cellar ability. To some people, it could be off-putting. So making it a softer, more approachable tannin profile that makes it more immediately gratifying, I think that's a strong idea. So our reds, and I'll have some that meets the interest of different demographics and flavor profiles and understandings of wine appreciation. So I will, have some wines that do have the traditional bigger, bolder, heavier tannin profile for those people that really understand and like and desire or prefer that type of wine. But I think in the Philippines, especially because of the consistency of heat, I think that a lot of the time the lifestyles there might be eating Epicurean experiences that are softer protein, not always necessarily so heavy. So something more like a pork and a poultry and a lot of seafood and fish. So I think softer tannin reds are going to be the best. I think blends are going to be super favorable in the Philippines. I think late night caps, if you just want something to nip on and finish at late night conversations, softer late harvest wines that are a little bit more, ripe or fruit forward, relatively a little sweeter and softer and flavor and effervescence. I think, carbonated wines will be really popular. I think rosés will be super, super popular in the Philippines. And some of these wines that I have right here, are, capable of introducing and featuring in the Philippines. But in addition to what I currently have, obviously our specialty is augmenting something from the start, something custom to the platform or that supermarket or hotel, resort, casino, airlines even, or events. Like I've talked about some of the projects we're currently working on now.
Jonathan, I know you've sent me pictures of when you and your family go out, right? When you guys, why? I mean, Jonathan is I'm not much of a wine drinker. I mean, I'll drink the wine because it's part of the meal, right? But for me to do all that, I would leave it up to John. But I remember John, when every time he goes out, he's like the cheese and the crackers and the grapes and the fruit. He's like amazing, right? He knows all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to ask you. That's why I know for a fact that each country has a certain palate or taste, and whether it be sweet or whatever. In the Philippines, what would you say? How would you describe the palate of the average Filipino in terms of what do they prefer? Something sweet, like that, or what do you say?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be more fruit forward, more ripe, bright, suggestively sweet. For the fact, like I said, it's more consistently hot in the Philippines. It's going to be really hard to really cook down a big heavy tannic, Bordeaux blend or Cabernet Sauvignon, single vineyard, all brand new French oak barrels. You got to be careful too. It's like oversalting a piece of steak. If somebody's not really ready for that, you can't really hit them with something. You don't just wake up one day and start appreciating a single malt Scotch. It's like lifting weights. You got to really think about it. It's like lifting weights. You don't just walk into a gym one day and pick up a 500-pound dumbbell and just hit it hard and appreciate what you're doing with it. It takes a minute to build up to that. So I think you need to make something to start that's really just approachable in general. And as palates grow, as the palates appreciate, then you could start to really differentiate the understanding and value that has something to do with, with the consumer. Because you got to remember, I really want to introduce to the Philippines, there's not necessarily a wrong way or a right way to enjoy wine or the lifestyle, because to be honest with you, it's subjective. I love Brussels sprouts. There's a lot of people that just really don't understand Brussels sprouts. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, who's right, who's wrong? It's subjective. So I really, my intention is introducing wine to the market and allowing for it to be approachable and digestible, especially when it comes to learning about wine. I don't want to have the old stigma and the rules that were really attached to it in the very beginnings. I don't think it needs to be like that. another really interesting, just, sidetrack fun fact that we're going to be, we have intentions in activating in the Philippines as well, as I've actually just done a partnership, and I've invested in a company with Joe Mohan. He's a tech mogul. He created a platform that ultimately ended up becoming what we recognize nowadays as, Spotify. But he's, he's the great grandson of one of the founding members and one of the original employees of actually Paramount Pictures. And so what we're doing is in 2021, we're activating hologram wine tasting, and it's going to be featured in all the malls nationwide, starting in New York. And we've already talked to an organization that represents a plethora of development firms that are the development firms of the Philippines. And as you all know, and as many of us may know, that the Philippines has some of the largest malls in the world. Mall of Asia. And so we also want to extend this project and show tentatively, currently right now it's referred to as WET, Wine Entertainment Tasting, and it's going to be hologram wine tastings, which brings wine and education history in the form of entertainment to malls and outlets and theaters throughout the Philippines as well.
Well, if you're touching on entertainment, obviously the Filipinos are big on entertainment, my friend. So if you're going to go ahead and promote a product like that, I mean, that's what I like about you, because you're very innovative in what you're trying to do. Sometimes certain products can be continuously marketed a certain way, right, the traditional way, but there are times, just like what's happening now with the pandemic and with COVID and everything, as far as delivering the message, how to market the product, just like what we're trying to do now. You have to come up with stuff like that to get people to taste it. And you're right about the Philippine malls. It's huge. A lot of Filipinos love going to the mall for a lot of reasons, but the reality is that it's definitely a big market. So, Jonathan, did you want to just chime in on that as far as the wine part? Because every time he talks about wine, I think about those pictures you send me about when you guys go out in the restaurant, bro.
Yeah, definitely. There's a big market here, and Jason is right. It depends on how you really position it. Because two things, right, Jason? Are we talking to the consumer? Of course, they're always after quality and price as well in the Philippines. That's why maybe that could be my last point here, Ferdinand. Mm-hmm. How competitive is this, Jason? Because here in the Philippines, right, the group of Mega World, owned by Dr. Andrew Tan of Emperador Distillers, already bought Fundador, right? They're the number one. In fact, the billionaire. Started with wines. I mean, that's one of his before he became a developer, the Mega World group of companies. So what I'm saying is he knows the taste of the Filipinos. And maybe the last point here, Jason, is how competitive, because you see Filipinos are always after the price point in a way. Because here, Ferdinand, those wines that I've been telling you is on an $8, $9 range here in SNR or Landers or any shop. So the wines that you're going to distribute here, Jason, are that competitive as well?
So I believe they're going to be competitive in multiple ways. You have to be mindful of the market, but you got to think of it like this. The wine and beverage industry, you got to look at it as vehicles, kind of like cars, right? So you can have many different vehicles, and they can all be respected. You might have a Honda, you might have a Cadillac, you might have a Ferrari. They're all vehicles, but for one reason, and for some reason, some have a higher dollar value. Some have a higher, grander appreciation, even though they're all respected, right? They might have a bit more desirable interest towards one of the different vehicles. The thing that we got to recognize and realize is Napa Valley in California is a brand. And right now, there isn't really a presence of Napa or California wines in the Philippines. There's not. It's primarily Europe. It's primarily, Spain, and it's primarily Australia. And those are more approachable price points when it comes to product. So Napa Valley is, and it's not me just saying, it's just, it's been proven in international recognition. It's the most prestigious wine growing region in the world. It's the Bugatti of the beverage and the wine industry. So the price points, I think some of them could be a little greater in price point, but to be honest with you, I think that we will be able to match some of the price points that you see currently on the shelves. I think it will be comparable. I don't think we really have a limitation. It's just going to be a more, it's just going to be a massively prestigious brand coming into the Philippines that doesn't have a position there yet.
I am excited to the
Great.
fact that you said that. So there's going to be an opportunity not only for
Yeah.
people in the Philippines to enjoy wine and all that, and I love it. The fact that you can make it available, and the fact that it is Napa and it is amazing, and you're making me thirsty. But we have to move on and go to. I mean, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and lead up to our next guest. So let me do a quick intro. Now, we want you to stay, stick around, okay, Jason? So now, this next guest, he's expanded his entrepreneurial wings by putting up a premium brand of innovative, healthy, all-natural, and tasty food condiment that enhances everyday dishes, everyone. His company's mission is to help uplift the lives of local farmers and improve the Philippine agricultural economy. What better way to support this gentleman and his company's endeavors? So please don't go, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
All right, we are Planet 63 products from the Philippines, products for the Filipinos. We'll be right back for our next guest.
Just because estudyante pa ako, doesn't mean I can't go off chasing my dreams.
Just because kasal na kami, doesn't mean we can't embark on a new journey.
Just because single parent ako, doesn't mean I can't go off on adventures.
Just because may edad na ako, doesn't mean I can't look for new experiences.
Just because single ako, doesn't mean I'm lonely.
And just because I'm on a budget, doesn't mean I can't experience the finer things in life.
That's why at AirAsia, we believe that when it comes to your dreams, no one should settle for anything less than what they deserve. That's why even if you pay less, doesn't mean it has to be less convenient. It doesn't mean you get less comfort. It doesn't mean you can't be treated like a VIP. Because whatever the price, getting you to your dreams shouldn't feel anything less than a luxury. AirAsia, the world's best low-cost airline.
Wow, everyone. Thank you. We are back. Now, that was an interesting conversation about wine, period. I'm just talking about it makes me intoxicated already. But obviously we want Jason to come back and have any parting comments. But right now we'll just have Jason on standby. Now, Jonathan, I wanted to ask you something real quick. Are you there?
Sure. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, go. I wanted to ask you now if there's anybody that you want to acknowledge. If not, we can go on to our next guest.
Actually, there was a question, Ferdinand, on my thread, and maybe we could ask Jason, later as he comes back. Is there a difference between a wine in a bottle and wine in a paper? Because when I was in UAE, in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, we tasted a great wine, but it's on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like there's like a faucet on the papers. I'd like to ask that because, and I forgot to ask Jason. Anyways,
well, there's gonna be that. I'm familiar with that. It's here. I think it's called wine in a box, and it has a little faucet. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
So,
later on, let's ask him if there's a big difference in the taste. But I'm just after the security once it's being shipped here. Of course, the paper could be more I don't know, safer or something. Anyways, we'll ask Jason in a while.
Well, we'll discuss that when he gets back to us, okay? Anyway, so before we introduce our next amazing product from the Philippines, let's bring in Planet 63's resident marketing professional and Philippine product supporter. Now, let me go ahead and introduce this lovely lady. Her company is now the fastest growing Filipino online directory in the US, with close to 3,000 active listings, and has since expanded its services to include event management, targeted marketing services, and has recently launched the Philippine Trade Investment Promotion Network. Please welcome Christina Espiritu. Hey, Christina.
Hi, Ferdinand. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm glad you can make our show. I know you're busy, but you've been a very cool, very dedicated supporter of the show, and also giving ideas and feedbacks to all of our guests from the Philippines. So go ahead and take this moment to talk a little bit about your company, Christina.
Sure. So my company is called My Jeepney Stop, and as you mentioned, we are one of the fastest growing online directories for the Filipino community. But aside from that, we do target marketing. So we are a multicultural and multi-generational marketing agency with a special emphasis on Filipino products. So just because of our heritage as Filipino Americans, our specialty and really close to our heart is really bringing really great quality Filipino products here to the US.
Well, I know that you're creating a lot of creative ways to market the product. So, without further ado, I will give you the floor, so to speak, and let you introduce our next guest.
Sure. So our next guest, so we've had him here a few weeks ago, and we are glad to have him back. So he graduated from college at the University of Asia in the Pacific, where he took up communications. He also completed a master's degree in business management from the prestigious Asian Institute of Management. He is the founder and CEO of Saint C, and his products grow in popularity every day. So let's talk about him, about that, and see if he can show us some deliciously tasting products. So let's welcome Alan Tuazon.
Morning. Thank you for the introduction, Christina.
Hi,
Morning,
Alan. How are
Bong.
you?
Morning, Coach Jonathan. The folks there watching in the US.
Yeah, good morning to you too. How's everything since? So first, I know our for the people who haven't seen you before, we would love to learn more about you and your company. So should we start with the video that you have?
I have we're pretty much a very small. 5 years ago, when we started out, I wanted to implement line wherein, of course, everyone is familiar with, also abroad, and we wanted it, of course, healthy, and we wanted it something different this time. At that time, I wasn't so sure yet what I should do, but I started out with the base first, and that's I'll start it out with my. So this is Saint C. It's a bit washed out there. Saint C calamansi. This is all pure, all natural, no preservatives, calamansi. And what we've scanned first, what's available right now locally. And what we've learned is, well, not to put down some of the companies there, put in a lot of preservatives in their calamansi. Two things there. One is when you start putting in all these preservatives, across the things that you will do, whether it's for food or beverage, everything will change. So we went back to the drawing table and we wanted to see how we could come about with an honest to goodness calamansi. But 3 years ago, I was able to fortunately get a team together with my food technologists, which are. Later on, I met some people also who does exports abroad. And from there, they kind of guided me the things that I should and how to go about it. And so it took a while for us to actually get here. But last year, since we launched early on in July, things started rolling, and people, not so surprisingly, they love the product, and that's where Saint C became familiar with a lot of the people. But during that time, when I was thinking, if I was going to have only one product, it might feel low. So my friend was telling us, why don't you have an... And that kept me thinking already. Why not come up with a soy-based condiment, but with a twist? So after researching and talking to um, it got me product. And I finally met somebody. He makes cocoa aminos, and apparently that's what they take. It's all natural, organic. And from there, I started thinking, what if I combine uh, cocoa aminos? That's what we came up with. Aminos and calamansi. Uh, and that's, it took a while for us to introduce it because here in the Philippines, aminos to begin with. So that was the challenge. So I began thinking again, maybe I should have something else along with it so that to introduce to them cocoa amino. A specific blend of pure coconut vinegar, all organic. Activate the bacteria. Fermentation would be, we don't do those such things. In fact, this one is 12 months in fermentation period. So what we've done is we have all three products. And here's the good part. All these things are actually combinable. You can all put them together. Combine cocoa mansi with vinegar, and the taste profile would be pretty much like having a soy sauce and suka together, but with the to more fruitier, or combine all three. Sweets or citrusy. So with that, when we started launching this, it was slow to begin with, but now maybe Chris, if I may, and this is what people have done so far, doing the recipe, but this time it's it's the people who are sharing already the recipe to us. Sorry, okay. So maybe I'll we were thinking of already the products that we could show to them. Sorry, if I may. Oops, technical.
No problem. So right now, as you're saying, so you have recipes that people have sent to you?
You see my screen?
No, not yet. But what are you showing us as you because you were cutting in and out earlier? So what you're saying is you have recipes that people have sent to you?
Well, initially, okay, this is how it looked like. Can you see this one? Okay, maybe I won't play the large screen. So initially, we were doing our thing. What we were saying. These are from Aklan in the south, beside. This is our inasal. This was actually marinated
Oh wow.
in both calamansi and cocomansi. And then this is a combination of vinegar and tastes actually really good. So we also did this. This is I saw this rice. So this is spam. And what I did is I made a sauce, a dip, combined uh, sake this concoction. This one is binagoongan. So the person did this combined cocoa aminos and calamansi. This one is pompano, baked using also cocoa amino and calamansi. This one is adobo, of course. Who doesn't know adobo in the Philippines? And of course abroad. Combine adobong pusit. Again, combining using this one is steak. Basically, I marinate, tossed it with butter and garlic, and had some rosemary on it. You can also do that. This was another buyer, and that's what she uses. Our solid, and this is what they did for their calamansi. Uh, this was shared to us. This is beefsteak. Also, and then this one again was also shared to us. Says to dip for his dumplings. So our calamansi there, and with chili garlic, with tamari sauce from that's Japanese. Again, this was also shared to us. You can pretty much also use it for your beverage. So I think she made maybe a gin and no, sangria. Sorry, this is a strawberry sangria. A combination done also by one of our buyers. Since we're in eBay US, from San Francisco, from this is from Newport Beach. Again, from Golden State. She used it for her pancit.
Wow.
And
well, that's everything does look delicious, Alan. So I mean,
yeah,
it's enough to make me hungry. It's dinner time on my end. So one thing I'd like to ask is where can I find it? Can I find? I know that you're selling it there in the Philippines, but are you selling it here in the U.S.? And if so, where can I find it?
Sorry, I'll share it again just to show the people there. We're currently in the US. You can find and another group that we're tied up with recently, it's caravan.oneexport.net. So you can actually order from them bulk straight to their company.
Okay.
It's a company. Yeah. Go ahead.
So you said that, sorry, because for people who are because I'm kind of hearing you in and out, but I want to make sure that people know where we can get you from. So first you said it's from Caravan, right? So you said that we can get it through Caravan?
Yes, a Caravan actually. So what you can do is you can order from their site several
yeah, and
what is condiments, when you want snacks, if you want
and what is the what is the website then for Caravan, just for people who want to order?
I think Jonathan
put
me back.
Caravan.
Did we lose?
That's one.
Yeah, I think I talk to Alan all the time, and I talk to Alan. I know Alan right now you're having a little bit of a technical difficulty there, so I'm going to kind of restate what you were saying. You're currently dealing with Caravan. I think One Export. That's a project that they're doing. So what they're doing is they're consolidating a lot of their products and bring it into the U.S. What I'm excited for you, Alan, really is the fact that the product is something that I'm just trying to always give the U.S. market, the Filipinos and the non-Filipinos, an idea what the product tastes like. Obviously, it's citrusy. I'm thinking, right? It's got a little bit of that in it, and that's what makes it good to put in certain types of drinks. But the thing that I like about what's happening with you is that I think it's just a matter of time until you truly find the platform here in the US where a lot of people will discover this finally and really access it so easily. But you're doing all of that already. You're doing it. You're trying. I think you've done it with eBay, and you're not trying to do this thing with the One Export. And I think it's just a matter of time when all of that product, and you and I are working on it. As a matter of fact, of trying to get the product here also. So to me, your success with this product, it's just a matter of time. But I'm trying to really. I want you to kind of. Is there any way? I think you might have said it already. How does it like taste? Is it more of the calamansi, Alan, than anything else? Alan,
I can tell you. So the chat. Can you hear me, Bong?
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So I think the challenge is true to the taste.
Okay.
More than the preservation.
Yeah, because I think what's.
But then I also
think we're having a little bit challenge, guys, with everything being delayed.
Yeah.
So it looks like Alan's falling asleep there a little bit, but he's not. I know, but the reality is that what makes the product amazing, and it's just a matter of time, is that the taste of the calamansi is what makes me want to squint, because it's like I love calamansi, and a lot of people may not know what calamansi is.
Juice.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I knew he was going to bring out some sort of product that I could for the calamansi, right?
And then one thing I like
then,
is the cocomansi, because it seems like it's a healthier version of soy sauce and the calamansi, right?
Is.
So it is.
It's pretty close to make your tapa, you know,
exactly,
and combine it with your cocomansi or your coconut vinegar. That would be your morning breakfast. So breakfast for the champ.
It seems like a very healthy version of adobo, from what I can tell.
Yes. Here's but is that since it had calamansi.
Well, Ferdinand, I am getting hungry though.
Yeah,
the way you're selling here, it's almost close to the sales of our calamansi. That's how fast cocomansi has changed. And mind you, nobody has ever done it anywhere in the world. So we even had it trademarked.
I mean, in the US. In the US, Alan, I mean, I'm sure Christina will have her input, but I see it at a Trader Joe's because it's sort of a unique condiment that people may not even think about, right? Only maybe a Filipino would really just think about that, but a place like a Trader Joe's would probably eat this up all day long, in terms of that. So, don't you agree? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah,
and
there's a Bong, actually, there's a in Washington from us, and he really loved it.
Yeah. Well, Ferdinand, I actually absolutely agree with you. So I think anything that is Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, any specialty grocer would work well with this one.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited because I really want the US market, the Filipinos or non-Filipinos who are looking for a product to put online or to market. This is something that, if somebody in the audience knows a buyer from Trader Joe's or somebody like that, or a Whole Foods, Alan is amazing at being able to send maybe a sample or something if it's really something that's going to really win him an account, because that product, even though I've seen the specs, we've talked about it all the time, and I think it's just a matter of somebody actually from a Whole Foods really tasting it, because the common thing between Alan and Jason, in terms of their products, is the quality. They believe in the quality, and I think this would do really well in those places. I mean, that's just me. I love. I'm my eyes are already starting to squish. I mean, squint because I can taste the calamansi. I just like I love calamansi.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the cocktail. I'm already thinking about the cocktails I can make with the
Oh, the
calamansi.
gin and tonic. Gin and tonic.
Oh no!
Calamansi.
Well,
you're reading my mind.
You guys are
vodka calamansi.
You guys are definitely making me hungry, but in terms of that, I mean, there's so many creative things we could put on. But Christina, I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can bring back Jason, because it looks like we're on the move again in terms of the show. So okay, so let's recap. The common two things about you guys is that the products are amazing, and like I said earlier, it's the quality that I'm excited for. You know, Alan, with you being in the U.S., going into the Philippine market, or I mean the U.S. market, it's something. It's really the common thing between you two is like it's known, right? I mean, it's known, but the proper marketing of the product in each of the countries, and then in terms of the relevance of how well it can do in these respective market, the potential is just amazing, and both of you just need more support. And that's what we're trying to do with Planet 63, with Christina here, trying to give you some feedback about that, even though technically it's the elephant in the room. There's some technical difficulties. That's what I love about Zoom, is always like the unexpected could possibly happen, right? So but at the same time, Jason here, it's the same thing. So I'm sort of like I'm amazed at the commonality, but the quality is there. It just needs to continue to be marketed, and hopefully people in the audience will continue to pay attention to these products, and then and continue to inquire about them with you guys, right, guys?
Correct. Yeah, and Ferdinand, if I could just jump in really quick, I'd like to state that I heard a little bit, of what Alan was introducing in his product line, and it is unique. I think it's only unique for the fact that it is a more advanced version of what might be commonly more recognized in the Filipino community, and that's what allows for it to be unique. It's a step up. It's a next level option. It's the next generation version of what is ingredients commonly understood and valued in the Philippines. And I'll also say one other thing is the packaging is spot on. Like, it's great. I can see how it differentiates the flavor profiles, and it's all a brand. It's all united, but it's different options. I actually think that the product's going to do good myself. And not just in addition to the stores like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. I think it would be, obviously extremely appropriate for those storefronts. But I think right now some of the bigger chains and outlets like Safeway and Ralph's and Rayleigh's and Lucky's, I think they're trying to really start to follow the quality and the value and respect that Whole Foods and Trader Joe's get. So I think that, I think he will definitely get into a Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. And I think that because of that, he'll fastly follow in all the other supermarkets as well.
Well, with that being said, I love the fact that you gave a feedback. If you, Alan, or Jason, if you guys can, now that you're in this network of Planet 63, please try to see how you can help each other, because the reality is that Alan knows a lot of people also in the Philippines, Jason, and then vice versa, because obviously Jason all day long probably deals with a lot of distributors and knows a lot of people in those areas. So hopefully you guys can connect. With that being said, Jonathan, is there anyone that you want to go ahead and acknowledge before we sign off?
Sure. Yeah, before we sign off, Ferdinand, again, thank you, Alan, Jason, and Christine, our partner, once again. And before we sign off, of course, we'd like to thank the support of the California State University through their GAP program, Ferdinand, the Global Access Program. Of course, we would like to thank PEZA. We'd like to thank the DTI through the Philippine Trade and Investment Center, courtesy of our Trade Commissioner, Mr. Eric Elnar. Maraming salamat po.
Well, again, Christina, Professor, Alan, Jason, thank you so much for being on the show. And again, we do appreciate your support. I mean, not just being on the show, but trying to get the word out for us, and we really appreciate it. And both of you guys are interesting products, and the fact that we had a little bit of technical, that's what makes it so fun, right? All right, now,
correct.
I want to go ahead and talk to everyone in the audience. Now, if you're interested in any of these products or have any questions about our show and the products, please visit our social media platform, Planet 63, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, website, or just email us at info@planet63.com. Now, next week, we're going to have we're going to have a guest in the health and wellness industry again. And, we want you to come back. The show is at 5:30 U.S. time and 9:30 Philippine time, Monday, and then Tuesday, obviously, in the Philippines. So, again, 5:30 p.m. Monday and Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Manila time. And then if you are looking for a product for your online store, or you are in charge of sourcing products for your community or company, let us help you find them. And unless, Jonathan, you have a parting comment, my friend?
That's all. Yeah, it was a very interesting day again, and for sure a lot of our kababayans around the globe who have watched us. Okay, please do follow us at Coach Jonathan YouTube or through Planet 63 YouTube and Facebook account. So that seems to be it, my partner.
All right,
so
let's end the show.
That's the 8th episode. That's the 8th episode. 4 more episodes, and then we end the year with a bang, of course. Let's end it. No, not because it's December, we'll rest. No, it's December, and we have to really be on fire and gear up as we end this year with a bang.
All righty. So let's end the show by saying products from the Philippines.
Products for the Filipinos. We are Planet 63, Professor Jonathan from the Academy, and of course, the CEO and founder, Mr. Ferdinand Soriano. See you again. See you soon next week. God bless you at mabuhay.
Magandang araw sa iyo, kabayan. This is Kachamp John P., Coach Jonathan of the Academy Training Hub for Entrepreneurship. I'd like to invite you to enroll in our online entrepreneurial masterclass wherein there are 4 things that I'd like to share with you bago ka magsimula magnegosyo. Una, paano gumawa ng entrepreneurial branding, no, to create value for the product or service na naiisip mo. Number 2, how to create demand-driven marketing strategies so that you can attract and promote and position your products and service. And number 3, tinatawag kong strategic salespreneurship on how you're going to convert all your leads, all your inquiries into sales revenue. At syempre, number 4, how can you maintain and attract customer loyalty and customer experience. These 4 videos will be accessed by you online, anytime, anywhere, fully digital. All you have to do is enroll at www.coachjonathan.net/entrep masterclass. And not only that, I'm going to give you a copy of the ebook, yung Seesaw Sell, no? 5 killer instinct mindsets for you to sell and win more in this new norm. So, libre ng ebook. And what's good is you can be certified, no? I'm going to give you assessments for each and every course that you take. So 4 courses in one. It's called the Online Entrepreneurial Masterclass. Maraming salamat, and I'll see you in class. God bless you. Hi, good day, kabayan. I'm your coach, Jonathan Petalver of The Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship. Inaanyayahan kita this coming November 11 up to December 12. So 11-11, 12-12, 2020 to enroll into our 2 masterclasses in entrepreneurship. So you're just going to avail it for 499 pesos for the 2 masterclasses and with certification. So 6 courses: entrepreneurial branding, marketing, sales, customer service, and entrepreneurial management and leadership. So enroll now and log on to www.coachjonathan.net. And don't forget to use your sponsor's student code to avail of the 499 pesos only for the 2 masterclasses in entrepreneurship. Again, I'm your coach, Coach Jonathan Petalver of The Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship. See you in class.